Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. So today we're going to be doing some Dollar Tree DIYs that are spring and kind of Easter related and bunny related. So right here I have this new item that I found at Dollar Tree. It's like a cutting board shape. It's really thin blonde wood that's paintable, and I saw these and got excited because I've never seen them before, so we're going to use one of those. I also have here some of the wooden bunnies. They are in a 12 pack. I also have some ribbon, but I don't end up using that for this project. I changed my mind. I have a ton of Waverly chalk paint. I'm using the pink, which is ballerina slipper. The blue is called pool. The yellow is maze, and then lavender and white mixed together here, as you can see, to make the lavender a little bit lighter. And it's also going to be using the white to paint this. As you can see, I already have painted most of it because there's no need to sit and watch me paint this thing. But I'm painting it all with the Waverly white chalk paint, and I watered it down just a little to make it kind of try to look more like a stain, but it really kind of covered it white. Then I'm going to be taking these bunnies, and I'm going to paint each one of them a different color. I'm painting one in the pink with this little small paintbrush, as you can see, and then I'm going to paint one in the blue, one in the yellow, which is maze, one in lavender. I also end up doing one in green, and I think that's it. Lavender, pink, blue, green, and yellow. Those are the colors that I'm doing. I'm also just painting basically the fronts of these, even though I do paint the back of this pink one to start with, and then I realized I don't need to paint the backs of all of these. So then next I have this fence piece here that I had in my stash. Dollar Tree does have fence pieces like this, and I just didn't have any of them in my stash, and I wasn't going to go out and buy more things for this project, so I'm using this one. But do know that you can make this completely from Dollar Tree in using one of their fence pieces that they have. So I'm just putting some hot glue on with my Gorilla glue gun, with my Ryobi glue gun with Gorilla glue sticks, so it goes on there and it's stuck on there permanently. And then I have this moss sheet that came from Dollar Tree. I got this a couple of years ago, but I do know that some of the Dollar Trees still carry them, and I just traced the bottom underneath where that fence piece was and cut that out because I didn't like that it was white at the bottom. And so I am just measuring that out perfectly, and I'm going to trim it so it fits and it doesn't hang over the edge. As you can see, it is very messy and it's falling apart on me. So I wanted to make sure that if it got bumped or anything, it didn't do that again. And then I decided to cut a second one out of the other side of it because it wasn't as thick as the bottom of the fence piece was, and I really wanted it to kind of line up for it. So I'm just lining that up and gluing the first one down, and then I'm going to glue the second one down on top of the first one, as you can see. This just gives me a better area to have things at the bottom. And then part of it fell apart, and so I'm actually just taking those parts and re-gluing them down. And as you can see, I saved all of the moss that fell off the other pieces so I could glue little sections in. And then I'm going to put that back in the bag with it because this is really nice moss and I want to keep it for future projects. So here are all of my little bunnies that are painted, and I also have 2 carrots from my last DIY video that I had that I painted orange on the bottom and green on the top. These are from Dollar Tree as well, and if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. I used that to make a little carrot farm. So I have these stickers that came from Dollar Tree. They're puffy a little bit and they're really cute. They're kind of kid-like. And I am adding the word B at the top, B-E, in the capital letters of this little set of stickers. They come in capitals at the top and then lowercase letters at the bottom. So then down at the bottom, I've decided to put the word happy. Instead of happy, like be happy, I'm putting be happy because they're bunnies. But I didn't realize at the time that I only was going to get 1 P because there's only 26 of each one of the letters, and then there's some exclamation marks and things like that on there too. So instead of being able to use two P's, because the other one will be capital, I'm using an upside down D. And I made sure I put a different color of the letters on than the same color that the bunny's painted. So like the purple one has a pink one, and then the pink one has a blue one. I really wish there was a yellow letter, but there wasn't. So I end up with a dark blue one and a kind of reddish one. So now I'm just using my Ryobi hot glue gun with my Gorilla Glue sticks, and I am going to go ahead and glue down all of these bunnies on the fence. So I am making sure that the letters all line up evenly before I do it, and I glue down the yellow one first on the end, and then I'm going to do the purple one and then the ones in the middle, so that I know that they're going to be in the right spot. Basically, they take up the whole fence, so you don't have to worry about it. So after I get those all nicely glued down, and I guess I did paint most of these backs. I thought I didn't paint the backs of all of these, but I guess I did. It's not like you're going to see them, so that's not necessary if you decide to make this project. But once I get all of those glued down on here, then I am going to glue down my little carrots. And I put the B and the E on a little offset so that the carrots would lean at the top and they weren't all just sitting straight up. And I thought that would be really cute. I was going to put some twine around the top of them and hang them from the handle of this, but I kind of changed my mind. You guys know me. I'm a little extra, and when I craft, I pull out things as I go sometimes, and my ideas kind of change as they're going along. So then next I went into my stash and I pulled out these butterflies. They're 3D butterflies, and they're kind of metallic on the bottom, but I'm just taking off the top part that's 3D that makes it look like it's flying, and I'm going to stick it to the top of one of the fence pieces. Here I am deciding where I want it to go. This one has yellow tones, and then I pulled another one off that has orange tones, as you can see up there. Now I also have these little florals that came from Dollar Tree like about a year ago, I think it was also, and I used them in a previous project. They have these, I do believe, in more than one color. These have like a pink tone to them. And I just had these stems left over, so I'm sticking those to the sides and the bottom. You don't have to use these. You can use any kind of florals, or you can just leave it plain if you like it the way that it sits. So once I get done with putting them kind of how I want them, I also grab these berry garlands. Now this one came from Hobby Lobby, I think, though Dollar Tree does have this in pinks and purples and different colors all seasons, and I'm pretty sure they probably have one with these colors, but I didn't have any in my stash, so I'm just using this one that I knew where it was. So I'm trying to make sure I get all the colors, because it has pink, it has yellow, it has blue, and it has lavender on here, but it doesn't have green. But since the stem was green, I thought, oh, this is great. It works very well with this. And you can untie some of them, and because they are just tied together, it's not just one big long stem. And then I'm just cutting them apart so I get most of the colors along the front and not behind it. I actually cut off some of the beads if they're in the back so it would lay flat, and I'm just gonna wrap it around until I'm kind of happy with it. And you guys know how extra I am. I like my projects to have a whole lot going on with them, and so I just wanted all the colors of the beads on the top. And then this project is literally gonna be done, and this is how it looks. I ended up putting another one of the butterflies that I had at the side on the bottom, and I added an extra little piece of floral going across the bottom, and I think it's so cute. It says Be Happy on it, and it's small. It's kind of small. It's not like the size of a wreath, so you could put it on top of another wreath form with other flowers and stuff around it, but I think this is really cute. So on to DIY number 2. For this one, we're going to be using the leftover bunnies from our other packet, and then this packet too. So I'm going to need 15 altogether. I have a pink candlestick from Dollar Tree. It came pink like that a little while ago. I have one of the mirrors from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using some Waverly white chalk paint right here to paint around this mirror because it's black and I want it to be white. And if it was warmer out, I'm here in Michigan and it was like 22 degrees when I did this a couple of days ago. It is literally freezing and you can't spray paint. So this is why I'm doing this with Waverly white chalk paint. Once I get that done all the way around, and sorry, I'm hopefully not blinding you guys with the mirror, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to glue our pink candlestick down to the bottom. If you don't have a pink one or anything, you can paint it, hand paint it with Waverly ballerina slipper, or else you can just use a white or whatever color one that you have. So this has crossbars in the bottom of it, and I'm putting a little bit of glue on the crossbars and then a whole bunch around the edge. All these edges aren't exactly going to sit where the glue is, but I figured if I put a thick enough coat on, it will hold it on there perfectly. So you have a few seconds to move it around with a high heat glue gun like I have and get it in the middle, and then we're just gonna let that harden for a second. Then I took a piece of paper and I covered up the mirror so I wouldn't blind you guys turning it back and forth with my lights. So now I have 15 of these bunnies. I did 3 of them in each of the same colors I did before. No one wanted to sit and watch me just paint these individual, so I did it right after I did the other sign. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue on it and stick them on the side. I'm going to make sure the bottoms kind of line up with the bottom of our mirror frame. And I'm going to leave a gap between each one of these. 15 fit around here really well if you leave a small gap, even smaller than that gap there. That one was a little bit far apart. I'm going to be moving the pink one in a second because it was not centered once I put the green one over a little further. I'm going to just snap that off here in a second and then put it right back on. Now, they're easy to come off, snapping them off when you take them off with the paint, but when you take them off, if you have to re-glue them the second time, they don't come off very easy. So be real careful with your placement. So I'm just doing the exact same pattern that I did on like the one that's like the cutting board with the purple, pink, green, blue, and then yellow, and then repeating it all the way around. And it turns out really nice. It goes all the way around this particular mirror. Now they have 2 mirrors this size. This one's the bigger of the 2. I didn't have the smaller one, and I wanted it a big size, and you'll see why in a second. So also, I wanted to tell you guys that I saw that one of my friends from YouTube, Jessica Lynn at Home, she made something very similar to this. I had already made mine, but I didn't get it like edited when it came to my attention. My girlfriend Cheryl actually said, "Hey, Jessica made the same thing that you made, and her video's already out." So great minds think alike, but hers is a little different than mine. I don't know if she used a mirror or not. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I did make basically the same thing she did on a candlestick from Dollar Tree. And I put a cloche inside of mine. It's a small cloche. It's the ones that are everywhere that fit the small cake plates and stuff. I got mine from the thrift store. The thrift stores by me always have tons of these, and I got it for like $1 a couple of years ago, but it sits perfectly in the lip of this mirror. So if you have one, it works. Or you can use it as a candle holder. Now this candle came from Big Lots, and it's one of the shorter, fatter ones than like the Bath and Body Works candles, and it fits in there pretty well too. Or you can even get kind of fancy with it and try to put other kind of candlesticks or something like that in it. I did add in this tall fancy one, and I put some greenery around it and an LED candle from Dollar Tree. The candlestick part is just a light cover that I stuck in there, and I use it for all kinds of things. But I want to show you, you could switch this up quite a bit. I actually would probably put this in my kitchen and sit stuff in it from my coffee bar, like flavors, syrups, and things like that too. So now on to DIY number 3. For this one, this is super simple. And if you saw my last video, you already know what I'm going to do with that microfiber cloth. But I have a jar from Dollar Tree. Those heart, like kind of rhinestones are from Dollar Tree. So are the pipe cleaners or Chanel stems. So is the ribbon. And this is the microfiber cloth that you can find in the automotive department. Now, the other stuff is floor wire. And I'm just using that one because it's open. I've been using it. But Dollar Tree has tons of floor wire in different colors. So I cut off a section of the microfiber cloth. And then I am going to cut some long rectangles from it. These are going to actually be a little bit longer than what I need for this. And if you did see my very last video, I made bunny ears with microfiber cloth and ribbon. And that's what we're going to do here for this one too. So I'm cutting off all the stitching on the bottoms of them, or what would be the tops. I tell you right now, I did cut a different piece and didn't use the one that had the stitching on the side. It worked out better that way. And I'm going to be cutting this ribbon the same length as these pieces. I did cut them a little extra long, so I do cut off some at the bottom. So if you're trying to save ribbon and make this project, probably cut them down, cut them a little bit shorter, like at least 1.5 inches, because you don't need this much of the cloth or of the ribbon. But do make sure, if you do use this ribbon, both of them face the same direction in the pattern, so then you won't have bunnies and stuff upside down on it. Or whatever pattern you have, make sure they face the right direction, especially if it has words or something on it. So the first thing you're going to do is pick up your microfiber cloth, fold it in half, and you're going to cut one end to a point. You want it to be pointed at the top. That's where your ear is going to start. Then we're going to take our ribbon, and we are going to put a dot of hot glue in the middle of it, pick up our wire. We have it folded in half. You're going to make one long enough that when it's folded in half, it goes down both sides. And then bend over your microfiber cloth on top of it. That is going to start off your ear. Next, you're going to fold over a corner, put a dot of glue there to hold it down. And I have this red spatula from Dollar Tree. It's silicone. Glue does not stick to that, so you can use that so you don't burn your fingers, because this glue in my glue gun, the Ryobi hot glue gun with the Gorilla glue sticks, is super hot. I have very strong asbestos type hands, so the glue doesn't burn me, and I have long nails. So be very careful. You're just warned with this. This could cause you to burn your fingers, so you could use the Dollar Tree protector. So what I'm doing here is rolling the microfiber cloth around the floral wire and putting dabs of glue in there to hold it down like this, and it's rounded on one side. You can put a dot of glue on the corner, and then you're going to roll the microfiber fabric around the floral wire towards the ribbon. You're not really trying to roll the ribbon in it until you get to the bottom of it. So roll it down and then put glue and then roll it all the way down to the bottom. I put the glue all the way down on this side because I already had the one side done. And don't worry if it looks too thin or anything for you, because you can pull it apart because the ribbon's in there, and reshape it once you're done. I'm putting a dot of glue at the top to put these two ends together so I get a point to a bunny ear. If you like your bunny ears more rounded, you can do them more rounded for this project too. And then you can see I can pull it apart. I'm going to put some glue down at the bottom to hold these together. And like I said before, I made them way too long. They could have been shorter than this. I forgot that I wasn't putting them into something big. And so I'm going to then cut off this bottom part because you do not need it. It just needs to be cut right straight across. And then you have a bunny ear. So I made two of them, and I actually cut them down just a tiny bit more. And most of the time I like to bend them forward a little, and they look super cute. But I'm actually going to bend those back a little bit more. So I went into my stash again. I know I didn't show you guys these at the beginning, but they had these puffs from last year, and I'm just fluffing this up because it was in a drawer with things on top of them, so all of mine were flat. And I'm going to find the side that's the flattest, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom side of the glass like the bunny tail. And this is super easy. These are the smallest ones they had. They have a neck size up, so if you make a bigger jar than this, you can even get bigger ones. Then I'm going to open up my gemstones here. They're like rhinestones, but they're heart shaped, and I'm taking out a pink one. And I was going to try to use one of these little pink hearts on a stem, but those were way too small. And if you really don't like how big the other ones are, you could use these off of these Valentine hearts from Dollar Tree if you have them. Or you can use any little gem that you want to use for the bunny nose. I just think the hearts are super cute. So what I'm going to do next is, I had these Chanel stems and I thought maybe silver, but no, I'm going to just go ahead and stick with the regular Chanel stems in white. The silver ones are kind of metallic, and they had those. They're like glittery too. They have some like that at Dollar Tree. Everything for this project is from Dollar Tree, so you can find all of this in their Crafter Square section. So I cut it in half once, and then I flipped that half over and cut that in half, and I got two very small sections here, and these are going to be whiskers on the front of our little container. So make sure the tail's in the back, put down a drop of glue, and then add the whiskers to the middle. If you want, you don't have to do the front. You can just leave the tail on the back if you like. That works too, but I put whiskers on mine. And then I'm going to put another drop of glue and add in my heart, and I make sure it's on there just like a heart. And so that's more like a little bunny nose. And then I'm going to take my ears and add a thick line of glue underneath the bottom and set it on the edge of the glass and hold it there. And this one I struggled with. I don't know why. The other one, it's so much easier. And you just have to hold it for about 30 seconds and it'll stay there. And it'll stay there perfectly fine. It won't come off at all. And then I added the second one. And I just think I got it on there a little bit better, so I didn't have to struggle with it as much. But once you're done, this is what you have. You can put little candies in them. They're like little open candy jars. I only had jelly beans that would kind of go with like Easter bunny stuff. And I made this one right here with the more pastel colors in it last year. And it has a little bunny tail, but I never put a face on it. And you can tell that these ears have been through a lot. They're very dingy from kids touching them and stuff, and they didn't fall off at all. I didn't tape it when I did it last year, so I thought I'd make one this year so you guys can see. And you could do this with your kids with like felt and ribbon, and you wouldn't have to use hot glue or worry about little ones burning their fingers trying to roll these ears. I just think these are really cute though. It's the adult version of what you can do. So that is it for this video. Comment down below which one of these DIYs is your favorite. I love them all. I have to admit to you guys that I don't like to do a lot of hand painting, especially not on little things that are tedious, but I love making all of these, and I think the little bunnies came out really, really cute in all these pastel colors. Also, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and liking and always sharing my videos. And if you are not a member here at Lacee Space, I don't know why not. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us for a while. I will be bringing you some more spring and Easter-like DIYs coming up soon. So that's it, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, loves.